plenty of time for Kyle Pitts, and maybe into a new system now, new head coach, new quarterback. Maybe Kyle Pitts can reestablish himself because the talent's there, right? Like we make fun of it all the time. Like Kyle Pitts, oh, that's it. Everybody keeps holding the talent's there. He did it in college. He did it his first year as a rookie. Like the potential is there for Kyle Pitts. He knows like he's going to produce it. The dude wants to get paid. There's a very clear path for him to be the number 2 weapon in this offense and kind of reestablish himself as an elite dynasty asset and maybe even like leapfrog guys like, Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle. This could be a situation. Again, I know it sounds outrageous because we've been burned for 3 years straight, but Kyle Pitts could find himself as the tight end 3 by 6 months from now, right behind Trey McBride and Brock Bowers, right? Sure. Like there is a path for that. And again, a big gamble, but man, like you guys have said, who else are they throwing the football to?
Rich, here we go. Name the rookie that will have the most dynasty value in the offseason of 2027. What is your first guess?
First answer out of Team Dotson over here. We're going to go Teteroa McMillan.
Tet McMillan is on the board as the 7th answer. So the lowest scoring value.
Yeah.
He gets 4 points.
Yeah, let's just get out of the way, Ashton Genty.
All right, Ashton Genty, highest scoring response here, and that is worth 52. Ooh. 52. So over half the people picked Ashton Genty.
And my answer is Trevion Henderson.
Trevion Henderson is 5th off the board. So you have the first response, the 5th response, and the 7th response. So still 4 out there. No strikes yet. You've been perfect.
Number 4 guess is got to be the guy everybody's taking at number 2. And everybody takes number 2s in life. Don't lie. Omarion Hampton on the board.
Omarion Hampton is number 3. We're still looking for 2, 4, and 6. Rich, what's your next guess?
Number 2 answer on the board.
Okay,
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is, in fact, the number 2 answer on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, what's your last 2 guesses?
I think some people are out there that were in the beginning of the season very high on this person. They loved him. They wanted to coddle him. They said he was better than a lot of other guys. And that answer is Caleb Johnson.
We have our first strike on the board here, Rich. Caleb Johnson, not one of the responses.
Show me the number 1 overall pick, a guy who has looked good in OTAs, which OTAs mean jack diddly squat. But go ahead and throw him on the board anyways, Garrett. Show me CW Cam Ward.
Cam Ward is the number 6 answer on the board.
Can't believe I took Caleb Johnson. Oh man. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go on the board here, and I'm gonna say let's just get out of the way because there's no way I'm not guessing this guy. And too many people know that listen to this show, and everybody agrees with me more than agree with everybody else. Because the simple fact is, fellas, that I am right as equally as you are, but I talk more. So I tell the pervy jokes. So everybody's listening to me, and that guy has 2 letters for a first name, and the last name begins with an H. It is R.J. Harvey. And by Garrett's face, I feel like
it is not R.J. Harvey.
It is not R.J. Harvey.
And I'm going to go Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren is incorrect. Matt,
for the win, for the steal.
Can you deal?
There's still good options. This is hard. This is not as easy as one would think because there's Quinshon Judkins, there's Colston Loveland, there's Jackson Dart. It's super flex, tight end premium. I'm gonna go Loveland. I'm gonna go Colston Loveland for the steal.
I can't believe I forgot Quinshon Judkins. I can't believe it.
Well, it's a good thing you did because that is incorrect. The number 4 option, Emeka Egbuka.
Dang it.
Number 4.
Dynasty, hot body, hot boy, Dynasty, hot summer. In Dynasty, it's so easy to find yourself on another league just because you just want to draft. Like, drafting is so fun. Fast Draft gives you the opportunity. And, you draft a team, then you set it, forget it. And then you open up the app at the end of the year and you go, look at me. Got so much coin in my bank account now because I did so well. So if you go on there, Fast Draft, use the promo code NERDS. They're going to match your deposit up to $50. And with that, they're also going to allow us to give you a free Nerd Herd membership. So we're going to give you a free 1-year membership to Nerd Herd, everything that comes with it, extra podcast, of course, the Dynasty GM app, which is the dopest tool out there in the world today when it comes to fantasy football and Dynasty. If you're already a Nerd Herd member, we're going to send you a gift certificate to the merch store. So check them out. Fast Draft.
All right. So if you are new here, this is the Roster Rescue Show brought to you by Dynasty Nerds. And we do a lot of different things here. One, we grade your rosters. We tell you what to do, what moves to make, what kind of trades, all of those kinds of things. You can scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner that says submit a roster. And we're going to make sure that we go through and we get nitpicky about your team, your league, and how you can make the best use of your assets there. But we also have like what Michael and Mike just did, where if you want to just, hey, I don't know that I want a full roster rescue. I don't know that I need you guys to check everything out. I just need to know about a specific deal or a specific trade or things like that. Then you can just put in a super chat just like these two guys did, and we guarantee to get to those questions. What are our feelings about J.K. Dobbins? If you're a contender, are you okay with him as potentially like a flex guy for you? Are you just avoiding?
Yeah, I feel comfortable as a potential flex play. We've seen Sean Payton utilize 2 running backs before in his offense. Versatile players, so they can use him. But I think they are going to rely on that running game. And Sean Payton's going to help out Bo Nix there. So I think the biggest thing what's nice about J.K. Dobbins, any point if anything happens to Harvey, you have a running back 1. What a great upside value. I feel pretty good about J.K. Dobbins, and I think he does offer the potential of some flex play. I could argue I'm probably higher on Jalen Wright than anybody in the industry. That's how all in I am. I've tried to trade for him. I've tried to give second-round picks for him. You said this is a team that runs a lot of motion. We already saw that they could support 2 high-end running backs. Jalen Wright was a player that fits this offense to a T. He's what coming out a couple years ago, he's the most explosive running back in the draft class. He adds a little weight. He has a clear-cut path to be in this offense. This is a year I think they're going to, you're right, boom or bust. Is he a part of this offense? Does he make it work?
David Njoku. Is there a path where he once again shows that he can be a top tier guy and we see not even just a tight end 1 season, but maybe even a top 3 tight end season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Stefanski's going back to his offense from 2 years ago, going to run a lot of 12 personnel. And David Njoku, who's literally gotten better from not only an NFL standpoint, from a fantasy football standpoint, every single year. I think there's a really good chance that David Njoku could definitely eat up the middle. And definitely with a smart quarterback, like you said, if Joe Flacco gets in there and can really read and check down the defense and go to a second read, which I think would be Njoku, I think he's a great buy. I think he's a great add. I think to me, I feel more sure about him helping me be that tight end difference maker than a guy even like Sam Laporta.
We have a bonus show today of Roster Rescue powered by Dynasty Nerds. I am here, your host, Garrett Price, with my co-host, Andrew. Andrew, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. And then, of course, we've got Pete in the background over there. Pete, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. So lots of good things to cover today. Obviously, whenever we do these bonus shows, it's simply because we have so many people that want to get in on this. And so I'm excited to be able to break down these rosters, look at some trades. If you're not sure how this works, we have 2 QR codes up there. The first one says submit a roster. If you're like, hey, I want you guys to talk about my team. I want you guys to give me some ideas of some trades I should make, some moves I should make. Should I be contending? Should I be rebuilding? If you want that, scan that QR code. If you're like, hey, I like the tools that you guys have, I would like to get all those tools for like $10. Well, you can do that. Head to Fast Draft. They're a great partner of ours. Scan the QR code, use promo code NERDS, not only will you get to play amazing best ball on Fast Draft, but you will also get our tools at Dynasty Nerds for an entire year for free. Third option is what our guy Hutsy just did. He put in here a super chat, and all super chats we'll get to right away. If you're like, I don't need you to look at my entire roster, I just kind of need you to answer a quick question for me. So that's what he did here. He said he just made a trade, received Neighbors, Kraft, and 2/3, gave Brock Bowers, Rashad Bateman, Roman Wilson, and a 2027 first. The first is projected at 105 right now. I have the 101 and 102 in 2027. This is a Dynasty 1 QB league. So I'm assuming that there's no tight end premium as well on that. Said, side note, Neighbors is the number 1 overall prospect for me over the last 2 years. Bowers is number 5. Neighbors is like 2 tiers ahead for me. So he's a big Neighbors guy. So Andrew, for you, how do you like this deal? Did he get a good deal or no?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at this trade for me, trying to break it down, non-tight end premium type of league, I would have Neighbors over Bowers. So, you're kind of already winning on the prospects there. You had to give a 27 first to move up. You get Kraft 2/3. You may have paid a little bit of a premium price to get Neighbors, but I don't dislike the trade for you if you have Neighbors that high in your rankings. I mean, he says he has him 2 tiers above him. I don't dislike it that much. I think you paid a premium, but it's fine.
Yeah, I feel very, very similar. If you are all in on a player, I'm okay with a slight overpay. And I think that's what this is. I think this is a slight overpay, not a drastic overpay, but I think it's a slight overpay to get a guy that you really, really like. So I think I have no issue with it. I wouldn't have wanted to have to pay quite that much. But look, when I looked at my projections, I have him as the number 2 wide receiver for this season. So I am all in on Neighbors. I think he's going to get a crazy amount of targets in this offense, and I think he's going to be really, really good. So definitely no issue with it whatsoever on my part. And you're in a great spot with when it's a non-tight end premium league. I'm okay kind of playing it a little bit riskier at tight end. Tucker Kraft's the perfect example of a guy that has some really good upside. So definitely a fan of that. So something I was talking with Peter today before we get into our roster rescues. First of all, appreciate all of you guys out there giving us kind compliments in the chat there. We really appreciate it. I'm going to do a good job or try to do a better job of interacting with the chat more and have you guys. So if you guys, if we don't get to your question, because we try to get to as many questions as we can, but often we're so packed with roster rescues or super chats that we don't necessarily always have a chance to get to all of the trade questions and stuff that are in there. But feel free to comment on each other's questions. We want you guys to be a community where you can come in and kind of post your questions. And if we can get to them, awesome. If we can't, oh, well, no big deal. But feel free to get in there as well and do that. But I also kind of want to hear more from you guys while we're doing some of this. So for you guys, how do you guys feel about this trade? Andrew, go ahead and take over. I am struggling with my throat real quick.
How do I feel about nachos?
How do I feel about this trade right here?
No, he's dying, so he's just wanting you to talk.
Okay.
What'd you have for lunch?
It's fine. What did I have for lunch? Not much today, actually. I pulled out a bag of Funyuns, one of those fun-sized bags of Funyuns, and 2 Uncrustables from the fridge. It's the kid lunch today is what I had.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I've had to do that as well. Sorry. I'm dying over here. I don't know why I can't get my throat cleared. Sounding like an idiot.
It's too much content. It gets like that for me too sometimes. When you start pumping out a bunch of content, it's like, dang, I didn't know this really put some stress on my throat.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you need to chill out. Shut your mouth for a little bit and just hang out.
It's a good thing we're slowing down on content and coming to the season, right?
I'm going to put you on to something. These are life-saving. I keep these in the drawer at all times. Every day when I'm done making content, just one of these.
Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, the Mucinex. I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it.
Sore throat ones.
So yeah, I want to hear from you guys more as well. So one's in the chat if you guys think that this was a good deal for Hutsy. Two's in the chat if you think maybe you overpaid a little too much and you wouldn't have made that move. So let's hear from you guys as well. So Pete, let's get into our first one here.
Awesome. And I am getting it set up right now. So this is Andrew's roster.
Andrew, did you submit your own roster?
Ooh.
No.
No, wasn't you.
It's a 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 9, half point PPR. And I'll look at the notes a little bit more, but how about you go over it?
All right, let's do it. So PPR league here. Looking at it, we have Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson at quarterback. We only need one, but obviously we've got 4 guys capable of starting. Running backs, Bijan Robinson, Devon Achane, Kenneth Walker, Tyrone Tracy, Tony Pollard, Javonte Williams, Roshan Johnson. Wide receivers, we've got Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Noel, Darnell Mooney, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Torrey Horton hiding down there. I'm excited about him. Tight ends, we've got Evan Ingram, Terrace Ferguson, Hunter Henry, and Oronde Gadsden. Draft picks wise, we have all of our picks. You notice today we have the 27 first actually rated slightly higher than the 26 first. That was due to our good friend Jared Wackerly. He has the 27 first drastically ahead of the 26 first. So it's made the jump on this beautiful morning. But all that being said, we are 3rd in dynasty mode. Pete, where are we at in contender mode?
First. So this team
are in first.
Apparently has finished 3rd and 4th place in the last 2 years. So he's trying to figure out where to tier up, either at quarterback or tight end, or at wide receiver 2 or 3.
Well, we're gonna get to that in just a second, but let me say one thing real quick, and I've talked about this briefly before, but it is a skill. It is an absolute skill to be a playoff team each and every year, to have a team that is a contender, to be winning in season. There is, I would say it's somewhere between 70 and 80% skill to get a team like that. But once you get to the playoffs, it absolutely flips, where it becomes 20 to 30% skill and the rest is luck, because all it takes is one random team to have one guy just go absolutely nuclear that week. And you took an L. You took an L. So the luck factor in the playoffs skyrockets, unfortunately. So sometimes you just have some bad luck. But Andrew, for you, looking at this team, we are the number 1 team. We've got some studs. Are you trying to upgrade at any position or make a slight tweak to help this team have a better shot at being the number 1 seed when it's all said and done?
I mean, overall, when I'm looking at the team, there's a reason why it's number 1 in contending. It looks good. Like, you have a lot of pieces here. I think the only thing that I would maybe be looking at is, can we consolidate a few of these pieces to maybe get an upgrade either at quarterback or maybe get an upgrade at the tight end 2? Having DJ Moore as the or wide receiver 2. DJ Moore is the wide receiver 2. It feels like I would rather have a little bit more firepower there behind Jamar Chase. So maybe the thing that I would be looking at is, we have a little bit of extra running back depth. Can we move, Tracy and a Moore? Can we move Javonte and a Moore? Can we even go up, to the next guy where it's like, I can't remember who was right there above Javonte. Who is it? Pollard. Can I move Pollard and Moore and just get a little bit more at the wide receiver position? That's probably what I'd be looking at first.
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat here. I would like to upgrade my wide receiver 2 spot a little bit. I don't think I need to upgrade the quarterback. I'm okay with Kyler. I think he takes a step forward this year. I think we're going to see things be a little bit better with Marvin Harrison Jr. compared to what it was last year. So I think we're on the right trajectory there. So if the right deal comes along, if there's a team that has, for some reason, both Lamar and Jalen Hurts or something like that, I'm open to making a move. But I think you're correct, Andrew. I think the priority more is my wide receiver 2 spot. So can I combine some assets and turn that into an elite or at least an upper tier asset? So Pete, why don't we look at some of these bottom tier teams, see if there's a deal to be made. Oh, there's some teams right there. Look at that. JSN is a player I would love to have. Brian Thomas feels almost untouchable right now. Like a lot of people want
A little
a
bit.
crazy price. I feel like it would be difficult to get him.
It might be difficult. It depends on your league. If you have league mates that are super reactive, he did get banged up in practice the other day, which maybe that scares somebody a little bit. I don't think it should scare a guy who's sitting at the back of his league, but I don't know. If your league's reactive, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but usually the leagues that are that reactive are also the people that tend to not pay attention until the season actually starts. So
Fair.
so hopefully your league is easier to get one over on, but I'd be fine with going after JSN here. What about the other 2 teams like on the bottom here, 11 and 10? Are there other ones that we can maybe go after as well? Marvin Harrison, Jerry Jeudy, we'll see. What about team 10? Justin Jefferson,
We can
DK
make a big
Metcalf,
play.
Jaden Higgins. So all those teams have a receiver I'm interested in. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. would be fun since we have Kyler Murray to be able to pair them up.
Also has a ton of wide receivers, it looks like.
Puka, Garrett Wilson. Oh, I'd love either one of those guys. Garrett Wilson might be one of the more acquirable guys that could have a big year this year. That's probably the easiest one to get of that type of tier.
I've been seeing too a lot of people getting a little bit nervous and reactive with Puka with the Stafford stuff. Do you think there's an opportunity here to maybe sneak in and buy low?
I would definitely try. What's this team have at running back? Are they thinking they're contender or no? James Cook, they're feeling a little better today than they did yesterday, but they still only really have one running back. So my guess is they probably don't think they are. But even if they do think they are, we could give them another running back so they feel better about their chances this year.
I'd be willing to move Kenneth Walker. Move Kenneth Walker to him and throw a wide receiver in, maybe Walker and Addison, and see if it can get us to
I like
Puka
that.
maybe.
Walker and Addison for Puka Nacua. That's obviously a little bit of an underpay on our part, but you're right. With the news, people do get nervous about that kind of stuff, and sometimes you can make something happen, especially with how desperate this guy is for another running back. He desperately needs one. That might get done. I'd even be open to Kenneth Walker, and if I had to, DJ Moore to get a Puka Nacua, because I thought about that big of an upgrade.
He has a Dunze sitting there, and I don't know, maybe he wants to double dip into both of the Bears wide receivers.
Pete, can you go back to our team real quick? Yeah, so Kenneth Walker.
And the other one's like Calvin Ridley, so it's kind of Addison has the most appeal there.
Yeah. I would definitely go after that. I would see if that can get it done. If not, I'm willing to throw like a second round pick in there to seal the deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if we wanted to really go to the top of the mountain, and you would understand this value more than anybody else being a Vikings fan. If we look at the team with Justin Jefferson, would you be willing to throw a Kenneth Walker, a receiver, and a first round pick on top in order? Because we do have our first round selection. Would you be willing to do that to get yourself the truest of true difference makers?
Yes, it does feel a little bit like you're going to start sacrificing depth, which that is the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause. The value's for sure fine. Like I just worry that if you move the first and DJ Moore and Kenneth Walker to go get Jefferson, we're now sitting with Jefferson and Addison at wide receiver and Ridley. And then who's our other guy? Chase.
Michael Pittman, I think. Oh, and Jamar Chase at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's obviously it's Chase and Jefferson every week, but behind them, like how comfortable are we with Ridley every week? How comfortable are we with Jordan Addison every week? And are you wanting to play Jordan Addison on like next to Justin Jefferson each week when you have buys or injuries or things like that? Like that's the only thing that would make me somewhat nervous, but the value is good. And honestly, I think I would still do that. And then I would just try and make a secondary move after. I think that's really what I'd be trying to do.
Yeah, because I think even, it's not sexy, but if you have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at wide receiver, I'm okay. Even, Ridley, I'm totally fine starting. I think he's going to have a really good year as my third receiver. But even if there's, during bye weeks, if I have to start a Pittman or a Mooney, those other two guys are so good that I'm okay with making that type of move.
I agree. And also, I think sometimes when you make a move like that, like things that I've toyed with in my league before is like where it's you want to tier up. Sometimes you just tier up to where you can. And if you then tier down after you make the tier up move to like a lesser, does that make sense? Like what I'm trying to get at here? Like maybe you went to Justin Jefferson, you go to the top of the top, and then you're like, all right, I did sacrifice a little bit of depth. So let's tier down now. Because it might be easier to go to the Puka manager and say, do you want Justin Jefferson? And then you just give me Puka and a piece now.
And I get can I get a first back? I just lost a first. Can I get a first back? And it's even a better first than yours that you just gave up.
Exactly. So sometimes it's making that secondary move that kind of helps you smooth out the roster, especially like right now, as we're getting ready to start set lineups in a couple of weeks. Like we want to have those rosters as smooth as possible. So it's easy to get in there and start scoring points so we can try and make a run at a championship.
Let's look at Team 7 as well. I'm curious there because we have a deal potentially on the table that we could try to work out for Puka, a deal potentially on the table that we could work out for Garrett Wilson. We talked about him potentially. We even have a deal out there for Justin Jefferson. What about a Malik Neighbors? Now, a team is probably going to be very, very resistant to giving up a Malik Neighbors. But if we can put together the same type of package that you put out there for Justin Jefferson, would you rather Justin Jefferson at this point, or would you rather a Malik Neighbors?
I mean, I have Justin Jefferson higher in my rankings, but they're the same tier of wide receiver for me. So it's kind of whoever you want. In my experience, it feels like the trade market right now is higher on Neighbors. Actually, he's more expensive, it feels like, than Justin Jefferson currently.
Yeah, I think you could be correct. So I think that's a secondary one that I would throw out there just to have multiple deals out there. Like, okay, I'm going after Garrett Wilson. I'm going after Puka. I'm going after Justin Jefferson. I'm going after Malik Neighbors. And I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm trying to get a wide receiver too. I have plenty of offers out there, but feel free to send offers my way as well. I'm, and sometimes I think you can just be kind of transparent with your league. Like, yeah, I'm going to try to get somebody. And that tends to kind of start the market because then deals get thrown out there that you don't even expect sometimes. Somebody will send something your way and you're like, oh, I didn't even think that guy was available. But now the deals get moving. So I'll say this though, because I don't want to be too confusing. Prioritize the deals that you like the most first, because I wouldn't put out a deal out there that's like a secondary deal and that gets accepted. And then the guy's like, oh, I would have made that deal, but the deal's already done. So put out the deal or two you like first and then see if they'll accept it. If not, then kind of pull back, go to your secondary deals, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, what I do when I'm doing that exactly is like, if you're playing on Sleeper, it'll ask if you want to send the DM of the trade offer and it'll shoot like the DM offer. Usually I'll do that and then I'll pull the trade offer so they at least see the DM with the offer in their thing. And then I'll shoot a message up in the DMs after and say like, hey, thinking of maybe shooting you this offer. What would you think about this type of deal? That way they can at least have a conversation about it. And if they are like, yeah, I'd be down for it, you're like, okay, let me resend it now. So you don't get caught off guard when they're trying to like accept a deal.
Exactly. Yeah. Because there's nothing worse than somebody being like, bro, I was going to give you more than that for that play. And you're like, oh, dang it. I was too quick on the trigger just because I sent everything out. So,
yeah. And if one of those secondary deals says like, yeah, I'd do that deal, then it's very simple to just say like, okay, sounds good. I'm going to keep this in my back pocket. I'm still, shopping a couple other managers in our league, but I'll be back to you here by the end of the day, or I'll be back to you by tomorrow or something like that. Like just communicate with your league.
And
absolutely.
Then don't get back to them until next week.
Right. Yeah. Make them sweat it out.
The power.
So then their offer starts going up because they're like, I just want to get this one done. I'll throw in the second round pick too. Like,
love it. I've been on the opposite side of that where I get anxious and get sweaty and like like, oh man, are we gonna do this deal or not?
I have a league. I have a league mate that I'm in a lot of leagues with, and I hate trading with him because it's the same thing where it's like he'll negotiate through text or through whatever, and then it's like we are like, all right, let's do this deal, and then I send the offer, and it sits there for days at a time, and I'm like, dude, we just negotiated for like 30 minutes in text, and you verbally accepted, and now
Yes.
it's sitting there in your inbox for forever.
I have a guy that is that, and even a little bit worse, we'll agree on a deal like on a text, and
Yep.
then he'll send me
They
a
decline it.
slightly different offer than what we just agreed to. I'm like, bro, that's
Yeah.
not what we just talked about 15 minutes ago. Like, it got to the point where I was like, dude, I'm not trading with you anymore. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sick of this. This is bullcrap.
Yeah, that's how I am with him. He can hit me up when he wants to make a move, but I'm not hitting you up to trade.
No, absolutely. All right, guys. If you're watching right now, please hit that like button for us. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, let us know if you're targeting one of these receivers, which one of those deals did you like the most? Are you looking at Garrett Wilson? Are you looking at Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors? Which deal are you trying to pursue, and which one do you think that he would be able to get done here? So, Pete, hit us up with our next one.
To the next. This is Derrick's team.
Is this an 8-team Superflex?
8-team. Yeah, the reason it caught me off guard because I loaded in the waiver wire and Adonai Mitchell is on the waiver wire. And I was like,
Scoop.
Wait, what? And then I was like, oh, this is an 8-team league.
Oh,
this makes sense. But it's a start 16.
I respect that. Yeah, if you're gonna have a shallow league, yeah,
that's how you do it.
I respect that a lot because look, we would all love to live in areas where we have 10, 12 different people that are ready to play hardcore dynasty leagues, but realistically, most people have like 2 or 3 people that are really interested in that, and then they're like grasping at straws to try to find a few more. So if you're only able to scrounge 8 people together, all right, then make it tough. Like, make them have to start a lot of guys. So I actually genuinely respect this. I don't know what you think, Andrew.
No, I mean, I respect it too. What does the lineup look like? Do we know that at all? Like, is it 2 QBs, 4 running backs, 8 wide receivers? Like, what is this?
So our league has 2 quarterback and 2 tight end roster spots. So it's not a super flex. It's 2 quarterback.
2 quarterback and 2 tight end.
The flex is wide receiver, running back only.
Okay.
Don't have any specific questions, but can't wait to see what type of roster moves you think I should make. I've been going through a rebuild the last few years, but feel like I am finally a contender.
All right. Let's get right into this. So 2 QB, 2 tight end league here. At quarterback, we have Pat Mahomes, Jordan Love, Shador Sanders, and Daniel Jones. Running backs, Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, Tyrone Tracy, Tank Bigsby, Ramondre Stevenson. Wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lad McConkey, DK Metcalf, Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman Jr., Christian Kirk. Tight ends, Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta, Mason Taylor. And then draft picks wise, looks like we have everything except for our 2026 first. We are in second in Dynasty and in contender mode. Pete, just for fun, real quick, let's look at that number 1 team because that number 1 team looks pretty solid. I'm curious what they're rocking with. Lamar, Baker, Purdy, Rodgers, Bijan, Achon. Wow. Yeah. Gibbs, Hubbard, Scattaboo, Charbonnet, and then Jefferson, JSN, Terry McLaurin. Keep scrolling, Pete.
Sorry.
No, you're good. DJ Moore, Bernard. All right, so they're a little weaker at tight end, but yeah, it's a pretty good team as well. So let's go back to our team here. Andrew, I'm first of all, this is fun because you get into kind of a rut with a lot of the similar formats and stuff like this. This is making me think outside the box a little bit and having to really try to like put myself in a very different scenario. if it is start 16, is that what you said? 16, Pete?
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So it's
Start
it's the
60.
start 60.
Start 60.
So the 2 quarterbacks, the 2 tight ends, that leaves us with 12 spots dedicated to running back and wide receiver.
6 each, basically, give or take.
Basically. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So when we
right now,
let's
obviously,
look at our roster then, basically, because looking at that, we would be starting Jacobs, Hampton, Chase Brown, Henderson, Tracy, and Stevenson basically every week. Those are the 6 running backs.
yeah, or maybe
So the guys
Bigsby
on the-
over Stevenson.
Yeah, so but like that's kind of your bench, right? It's just like Devin Neal and who's the other guy? Garendo. Like that's your bench for your running backs. Then Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Ladd, DK, Addison, and let's call it Pittman are the starters. Your bench is Christian Kirk, Douglas, Iomaner, and Dante Thornton. So that's kind of what you're looking at each week. So it's like, how can we improve?
I wonder, real quick, I wonder if this is true. I wonder if it's actually start 16 or if that was a slip up. Because right now he has 12 players highlighted. That means those are the players that are in his starting lineup currently. Let's look at some of the other leagues. So, all right, so 2. Then we have
5
yeah, so there's
This
5
one has
receivers.
12.
So there's 12 starters there. I wonder if it's 12.
That'd be a lot
That would make a lot more sense.
more manageable because right now it's like they're just everybody on their team is basically a starter, and then they have like 10 bench spots.
These are all 12.
I was gonna say I have not seen one of those ones you've scrolled through yet, Pete, that hasn't been 12 starters. So I'm guessing
they're
that
all
might have been a
12.
slip up on his part. So I'm gonna go into this thinking it's 12 instead of 16 because that's a very, very different evaluation process if it's 16 versus 12.
Yeah, so it's 4 starting running backs and 4 starting wide receivers, basically.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
fudge those a little bit. I'm guessing you probably have to start at least 3 of each, and
Right.
then maybe you get 2 flex.
Yeah, so that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. But when I'm looking at that, and the fact that this is a start 2 quarterback league, the one thing that stood out to me, and you can tell me how you feel about it, Garrett, but our quarterback 3 on our roster is Sanders. And it feels like in a start 2 quarterback, obviously that quarterback is going to be a lot more valuable than
back
a
to ours,
normal
Pete.
super flex or a normal 1 QB. So are we comfortable, rocking Sanders or Daniel Jones as QB3? Or do we want to maybe make a move for a little bit more of a backup quarterback? It could even be a veteran like a Geno Smith or something like that that's a little bit more reliable than a Jones or a Sanders.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I think I'm with you on that. I would like to get myself another quarterback. I do think I'm going to wait potentially till in season though, because I do want to see what happens with the Colts situation. Because with Richardson already being banged up, Daniel Jones has played well in the past. It's been hit and miss, but we've seen stretches where he's been decent. I'm curious to see him in this offense. We've had a lot of reclamation projects lately, most recently Sam Darnold, but before him, Geno and Baker Mayfield. And, we've Ryan Tannehill and different guys that started off one place, didn't go super well, go somewhere else. And then they're actually a very steady and reliable quarterback. So I think I am with you overall on that, but I want to give it a few weeks to see, A, is Daniel Jones a starter or not? And if not, and if he is, B, is he playing well enough for me to feel good about him as my quarterback 3 or not? So I think I would probably personally wait unless the right deal comes along. Then I'm always willing to negotiate if the right deal comes along. But I don't think I'm like overly aggressive until I know what I have in Daniel Jones.
Fair enough. How do you feel about going somewhere around we have 4 really good running backs.
Yep.
And our wide receiver 3, it seems like we have a pretty significant fall off from Amon-Ra in value to our wide receiver 3. What do you think about the idea of maybe moving a Jacobs for a better wide receiver 3 and then having Hampton, Chase Brown, and Henderson be our top 3 running backs on our roster? Why is Ladd?
I'd be open to it.
That's contender value, right? Huh?
Yeah.
I was like, why is Ladd so low?
Yeah. No, he's obviously still very good. So honestly, I like our wide receivers if that's the case, because then Addison and Pittman don't have to start. Yeah, his value does still seem low, even in contender. I still feel like that's a little bit low. So we'll have to look into that.
what is like T. Higgins' contender value?
We could find him real quick. There he is.
4,000.
4,000.
Ladd should be probably closer to T than he is right now, I would say.
He has Quentin Johnston though.
Yeah, Keenan Allen.
Yeah. And what's the tight end sleeper that everyone was talking about?
Gadsden.
Gadsden. Yep.
Yeah, and that's just much tougher competition than Jamar Chase and Gesicki.
Yep.
For sure. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so for me overall, going back to our team, we're set at tight end, right? If I remember, we have Laporta and Bowers.
Yep.
Yeah, and Mason
And
Taylor.
Mason
So we got
Taylor.
an upside young guy. We're absolutely set there. Would you see? This is where it's tough because 8 team, I automatically go to I want to get more studs. But when you have to start 12 guys, that's still a lot of starters. So it makes it a little trickier to just go straight for the studs. Now, we're already missing our 26 first. So we are kind of forced to be all in this year a little bit, which I'm fine with because we're one of the best teams in the league. But in this, when I see that I only have to beat 7 other teams as opposed to 11 other teams, that motivates me. I don't know about you, but that motivates me to be a little more all in. I'd be a little bit more willing to give my draft assets and stuff because that I automatically just increase my chances of winning this league by another 10% because of how few teams are in the league. So I think I would be in a little bit more of a redraft mindset than I would in normal dynasty leagues. What do you think about that, Andrew?
Yeah, I agree. And I think you do have, I think where your advantage maybe is in this league, obviously, like you have strong wide receivers, you have strong running backs. Like it feels like an advantage here in this league is the fact that it's 2 tight end starters and you have Laporta and Bowers. Like we're talking about 2 top 4 dynasty tight ends that you're rostering right now. And typically I would say like, you don't need both. Move Laporta, but because it's 2 starters, that is your advantage. It feels like you have over your league mates. It's going to be hard for me to imagine that anybody in this league, unless maybe somebody's rostering McBride and Kittle, that like anybody can beat you. And so I do like that. I think there's still a little bit of opportunities for us to Kittle and Andrews. It feels like there's still room for us to consolidate a little bit. So I would probably, looking at this roster, where I'd want to consolidate is like, what can I throw on top of Jacobs to move up to a better like superstar running back?
So Jacobs, let's see. So Jacobs, and so this is perfect actually, Pete. When I think about what I would want to be doing in the future, or what I would want to do for this year, I should say, I want somebody to help me win a ship this year. Even though I think Jacobs could, Derrick Henry is that next level. But you're going to get Henry cheaper than what you're going to have to pay for Jacobs. So right now, I'm using this news. I'm going to try to see, can I get Derrick Henry and Quinshon Judkins for Jacobs? Probably not. I'm probably going to have to give something else on top. But that's going to help me have a great young running back core for the future, plus a slightly better chance to win this year. So I honestly think this is one of the best teams we could possibly work with.
What does this team also have draft capital wise, by the way? All their
they have 226 first, so they are starting to think about the future, it looks like.
Do you think secondary move, if they're like, no, dude, there's no way I'm giving you Judkins as well. Like I'm already holding the bag. I'm just going to keep holding it. Would you go Jacobs for Henry and that 26 second? Technically, the 26 second would be like a top 9, 10, 11, 12. Like it's kind of a first even in 8-man.
I would be open to that as long as I would be looking to then utilize that to get somebody else.
As ammo. Yep, as ammo.
Yep, exactly. I also like AJ Brown on this team. I feel like I was actually talking about this in the podcast last night. I feel like AJ Brown has entered the Devontae Adams, Mike Evans tier of like, hey, like for what we saw 4 years ago, where they're at a point where they cost a first, maybe a hair over a first, and it's because they're old and they're not exciting. His ADP is at like wide receiver 16 or something like that right now. But you could get him for just maybe a little bit over a first, and he's going to give you another 3, 4, 5 years of production because everyone thinks he's old now. Like he's low key one of my favorite. Him and Dak Prescott are probably my 2 favorite contender buys right now.
Yeah, I highlighted him as a buy on my channel coming into the offseason, and it hasn't really changed. In fact, the price has even gotten cheaper since I originally, highlighted him as a buy. But I was having a conversation with somebody the other day because somebody in our comments said something about AJ Brown isn't even able to like fetch a first round pick in my league. And I was like, if that's the case, like I would be going around to the AJ Brown manager and saying like, I'll give you 2 seconds. I'll give you the first. Like if nobody else will give that to you, I will give that to you because I want AJ Brown on my team.
110%. Absolutely. So I'm trying to loop him into this deal as well. So would you do maybe he wouldn't be as interested in doing Josh Jacobs if we're taking, some of these older assets to help him win. Who's our other running backs and wide receivers? Who else do we have?
Throw him some of the hype of Chase Brown.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. So Chase Brown and a first and second maybe, or just AJ Brown and Derrick Henry.
A first, a second, and Chase Brown for AJ Brown and Derrick Henry.
Well, yeah, we'll let him keep Judkins because he's probably going to want to keep Judkins at this point as like an upside piece, young guy. So he's probably, if we're taking those 2 pieces, he's wanting to keep his young asset. So I'm kind of removing him from the deal here. If we had an AJ Brown and a Derrick Henry to this, all of a sudden we look great.
Yeah, I mean, we're pushing that number 1 team probably a little bit and starting to really push our chips into play for that championship this year. I like that move. I'm also trying to think like, okay, if this guy's going to come at us and say like, I don't like Chase Brown because maybe he also views him as a short window guy. There's going to be people that view Chase Brown as a short window guy. Are you willing to throw one of those enticing names of Henderson or Hampton? Are you willing to do that or no?
If that's what they want, if they want one of our young running backs, I'm making them pay the piper for it. So I want AJ Brown, like let's say, all right, it's Travion Henderson, especially after all the hype he just got after his preseason game and stuff like that. Okay, I'm capitalizing on this because I love him personally. We talked about him on the top 24 video. Like I'm a big fan. All right, but I'm also keeping in mind I want to win this year. I want Derrick Henry. I want AJ Brown, and then I want something else on top of it. If you want Travion Henderson, like those 2 alone in this kind of league are not enough. I want something else as well. I don't know if it would get done, but I'm not giving up those young assets cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I think if it was between the 2 guys, I'm more willing to give him Henderson than I am Hampton. I think it's AJ Brown, Henry, and then can I see that other team again, Pete? I think it's Henry, it's AJ Brown, and then I probably want you to throw me. Is it crazy to ask for Worthy as well? Like I want Worthy too.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
Or even if he says I want to keep the young guy in Worthy, like
okay, give me Josh Downs then.
Yeah, give me Downs or give me James. Do you like Connor as like another running back to throw in, or is that not a valuable enough piece?
Absolutely. In contender mode, James Conner's still a good asset. Does he have Trey Benson as well? He does.
Yeah,
throw me Connor and Benson.
Give me the backfield.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm asking for. If you want one of my elite running backs, I want to win. I want to make sure I'm winning it this year. If I have to throw in like a late second or early third to like seal the deal, fine, whatever. But like that's what I want.
Yep, 100%.
All right. Best of luck. Very fun league to talk about. That was a really unique one. Whoops, Pete, we did it at the same time. Jake, late rookie draft question. Love it. I am mid rebuild in a 10-team super flex league. I have 101, 104, 107, and 201. Josh Allen and Dak Prescott are my only quarterbacks. Who would you be targeting with my 4 picks? So in a 10-team league, I'm not as stressed out, Andrew, about quarterback as I am in a 12 or 14-team league. So those 2 guys are fine. If Cam Ward falls to a spot where I feel good about it, cool. If not, I'm not reaching to take Cam Ward. So 1-1 is easy. We're taking Ashton Genty.
Yep.
104, honestly, in a 10-team, Cam Ward's more like 1-5, 1-6 for me in a 10-team league.
Yeah, like
So-
if Cam Ward's there at 107, I'll take him, but I'm not taking him at
Yeah.
1-4. So like if he's there at 107, pull the trigger on Cam Ward. And if he's not there at 107, 201, you could pull the trigger on Jackson Dart if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Jackson Dart at 2-1, totally a fine pick to have. But yeah, I'm not taking Cam Ward there. So I'm taking the best player available on my board at 1-4, whether that's one of the running backs we just talked about, whether that is one of the wide receivers, Ted McMillan, Travis Hunter, whoever's highest on your board. That's who I'm taking there at 1-4. And then at 1, and honestly, I'm sticking with that the whole way through. I am sticking to my board the whole way through. I can always, in a 10-team league, I can always trade for Aaron Rodgers later. I can always trade for Geno Smith later. I can always, like, those guys are almost always available in a 10-team league. So I am truly just sticking to my board, and the best possible asset I can get is who I'm going after.
Yeah, I have a 10-team league that I play in, and I've been trying to sell Russell Wilson, and people won't give me anything for Russell Wilson. Like, I'm like, dude, the other day I was like, I just want him off the roster because I'm rebuilding, and I'm like, at this point, like, I
don't want
need
the
to
points.
just shed the points. So I'm like, somebody give me 2/3, and people were like, that's too much for Russell Wilson. I'm like, dude, at this point, I'm about to drop this man off my team. Like, I don't want him. But if going back to that question real quick, if the 104, Garrett's going to tell you to draft Trevion Henderson if you watched our video the other day.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you to draft Teteroa McMillan. That's going to be our suggestions there. And 107, I think for me, it's Cam Ward if he's available. If not, go Igbuka or something.
Yep. Emeka Egbuka would be great there. Quinshawn, I'd be fine taking him there. I know it's like up in the air and a little worrisome, but this is a rebuild team. You don't want points. So,
Yep.
All right. Next one here, Pete. Ooh, we got the nuke. That means shut up. I don't care about the line. I don't care who's waiting. I want my team to be talked about right freaking now. And that's exactly what we've got here. So, Pete, tell us a little bit about our team. And could you zoom in a little bit? It's kind of small.
Yeah. Gotcha. There we go. So this is Pat. It's a IDP league, but he is fine with not talking about IDP. So we don't have to worry about that. It's a 1 quarterback, half point PPR, start 12 team. I don't know if I mentioned that. He is more concerned about the skill position players on the roster, recommendations on if this is a rebuild or not, potential trade ideas before the rookie draft. So this is just double checking. Yeah, this is before the rookie draft. And if it is a rebuild, should he take Egbuka over Trey Henderson?
All right, well, let's get right into it. And if you haven't yet, and if you're here watching, please hit that like button for us. We greatly appreciate it. Quarterbacks, we've got Kyler Murray, Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins in this 1 QB league. Running backs, Alvin Kamara, Zach Charbonnet, Tank Bigsby, Rashad White, Rico Dowdle. Wide receivers, Puka Nacua, Chris Olave, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs. And then at tight end, we have Brock Bowers. Picks wise, we haven't moved a lot of draft assets. We have our own first, we have our own second, 105, 205, got an extra third and some picks later on in the draft. Still have our 27 and 26 first as well. So Andrew, for me, just looking at it, we don't know the IDP side of things, but for me, I would lean this being a little bit more on the rebuild side of things. We're currently looking at it. We're the 8th team in Dynasty. Pete, where are we at in contender mode? 6. So we're a little bit higher, but this to me looks like one of those teams where we're going to get stuck in the middle because it's not a bad team. There's some good assets here to build around, but you're not going to have enough longevity specifically out of the running back position. But even some of the receivers are a little bit hit and miss there to be able to really build that kind of super team that you want. So for me, I would be looking to rebuild a little bit more. And Adam, we're going to probably do this all the way up to the deadline, like the trade deadlines this year. We're going to be doing the show. We'll probably take a break after the trade deadlines because people won't really need to know as much what to do with their team at that point, but probably going to be looking to do that. So, but Andrew,
unless if they keep sending them in.
I mean, if you keep sending them, I guess we'll talk about it and say like, hey, next year, make this trade. But Andrew, is this, are you rebuilding? Are you pulling the plug on this, or are you going to try to push it for one more year?
Yeah, I'm probably pulling the plug a year early. I just want to look to Pete. Can we see like the contender values of the whole league like that when we scroll down a little bit and see everybody?
Can you guys read it from here? Is that okay?
I can read that. So
yeah,
scroll. I want to see like 6 and below, where we're at and below. So here's what I'm thinking here, Garrett. Like if Alvin Kamara's contender value comes off of our football team, which we know Kamara is probably a pretty fragile asset at this point in time, we're going from 6th to what, 10th? That's kind of where we're falling, from 6th to 10th. And then that puts us really as a rebuild. So it's like your chances of contending are hinging on Alvin Kamara. Do you want to hinge your contending chances on Alvin Kamara at 30 years old on a Saints offense that is this bad? Do you want to do that? I don't. So I'm just going to pull the trigger and start the rebuild now.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. And when you look at a lot of our assets, really the only assets that I would seriously consider is like, these are pieces that are going to help me win in the future. The only ones that are still there are really going to be Puka Nacua and Brock Bowers. That's really it that I consider assets that are going to last me more than 2 to 3 years. So in the chat, 1s, if you think this is a rebuild team, 2s, if you think that this is a team that we should just add a piece or two and to contend. But right now, I think we're leaning towards rebuild. So I'm desperately looking either right now today, but I'm fine waiting until the season starts as well to say, hey, who wants Alvin Kamara? Who wants Stephon Diggs? Stephon Diggs might be another one to wait in season. Who wants Chris Olave? Chris Olave is going to be appealing to some people. I get it that his value is a little bit dipped right now, but he's an asset that terrifies me because I think he could just this team could just be awful this year. Basically, I'm trying to move every piece not named Brock Bowers, and maybe Puka, maybe not, depending on what kind of offers I get for him. But I'm really trying to move every other asset on this team and get myself a legitimate bag of picks to be able to have to rebuild this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
question. It doesn't change at all adding on like a Trey Henderson and like a Cam Scatterboo, Jaden Higgins or something with the 205. That doesn't change.
Probably
right?
not. I feel like we're just going to be stuck. Like, have fun finishing somewhere between 4th and 8th every year for the next 3 years. Like, I feel like those pieces are not going to be enough to compete with those top couple teams.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to say too, Garrett, I know you said you kind of want to keep those guys. A team like this, everybody has a price for me. I'm good.
Oh,
like
I agree.
If you want to come pay for Brock Bowers, I'm absolutely okay moving Brock Bowers. If you want to come buy Puka Nacua, I'm selling him too. Like everybody's available if you guys want to come pay for them.
I do not disagree with that. In a perfect world, I'd love to keep him. But yes, if you're willing to pay me market or even better than market value for some of these assets, absolutely. There is nothing that I'm so closed-handed on. And honestly, I'm that way on almost every team. The only time where I'm not that way is if I'm a true legitimate contender and I have like, I'm not selling Bijan if I'm a true legitimate contender. Like the price really doesn't matter that much. I want to win a ship. So that's really the only time I'm unwilling to move assets.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like I would also explore tear downs. Like my rebuilding strategy when I have teams like this is like I have a Lamborghini. We've talked about this before. Like I have a Lamborghini and Brock Bowers. Somebody want, the guy who ends up drafting Tyler Warren or something, like, do you want Brock Bowers and give me Tyler Warren plus your future 27 first plus a 26? Like, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Because like I will definitely down tier to Warren. I'll down tier to Loveland. I'll down tier to somebody like that I'm still getting a young, asset that I believe is going to insulate in value over the next couple of years. But it's like I'm okay taking my shot and breaking, my Lamborghini down into a couple Ferraris. Like that's what I'm okay to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally fine with that as well. And in fact, I like to look for those because it's nice to still have some assets on the team that are not picks, to have something to build around. So I'm totally fine with that. I did a league recently where I took over an orphan, and really my only asset on the team was Josh Allen. Like that was the only real asset that I had. And I ended up down tiering to Drake May and then got a bunch of firsts as well. So I think those are sometimes the good moves to have. So you're not totally working from the bottom. You at least have something there to build around. Yeah, Pete.
Did I mention, by the way, that this is a 12 team, 12 start 12. So like tearing down from those assets make a lot of sense. Like
Yeah, if
the
it's
top tier.
If it's start 12, dang, and that's a lot of starters. That makes it even more difficult for this team to be able to compete this year.
Yeah. But tearing down from a Brock Bowers makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I was going to say even further cements the idea of like getting a couple viable assets for the one elite asset that you have on the roster.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at some teams that might be interested in a Kamara, in a Puka Nacua, in a Chris Olave. Let's look at some of these top tier teams.
George Kittle.
So this team's really good at running back. So they're probably not interested.
Wide receivers hurting.
They need receiver bad. They need where are they at picks wise? They've got 107. Is it asking too much, Andrew? In a 12 team.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Just give me all three first.
All three of them for Puka.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Dude, normally I wouldn't ask for 3, but you're one of the top teams in this league. I'm going to have to be picking with later picks. That's not ideal for me. So I need all 3 of those for it to be worth it.
Yeah. This is pretty much a second.
Right. Pretty. Yeah.
Seconds.
I hate when people say that, by the way. I hate when people say that. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much, but also it is a first. So like you're getting a first. It doesn't change.
And isn't it funny then once it becomes a second, then it's like, guys, it's pretty much a first. Like,
yeah, it's pretty much a first.
How is 111 pretty much a second, but 2-1 pretty much a first?
I hate it. I hate it so much. And people say it all the time.
I know. I've even done it. I admit it.
Yeah. I think
you literally just told him to say that, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. I like that idea. And I think too, like you can go into the point. You don't have to, I mean, if you want to say it's pretty much a second, you can say that if you want, but you don't have to. What you can say is like, look, you're already the number 2 team in contending, or you're going to be, a team that's already playing for the championship this year. And then I'm giving you Puka. Like, what more do you want from me? Because I'm giving you one of the best wide receivers in football, and you're already one of the best teams in here. So like, we're trying to push you into that championship.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, like we're pushing you into a championship right here. And all I'm asking for is those late firsts for the next couple of years. You should be good enough. Yep. Like I'm giving you a young guy in Puka. You have some guys on your roster. You're good. Like, see if you can make it happen. And even if he says like, oh, I can't give you all 3 of them. Like, let me keep one of them. Like, what piece could we ask to throw in with 2 firsts, Garrett? Like, what piece would we want?
Yeah, let's see that. Let's see that team again. Pete.
If he like asks for Diggs or DJ Moore back as well, like, are you fine with giving?
I'm
those
not
players
okay
up?
with Moore.
Not DJ. Yeah.
Maybe Diggs. I might do Diggs.
Okay.
I'd tell him I'd give him a deal. I'll give you a deal. I'll sell you Diggs for cheaper than market value, but you have to throw me that 207 this year too. Like I'll give you him for the late 207 this year, but
I think that's
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or even if it has to be 208. Let him talk you down to the 208.
It's pretty much a third.
Yeah, give me
Pretty
pretty
much
much that third round pick for Diggs, as long as you give me pretty much all those second round picks over the next 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 seconds and a third for Puka and Diggs. That's pretty good.
Pretty much. Just that's the offer pretty much. Just press accept for me real quick.
Ignore the numbers on the screen. Okay.
Oh man.
But
I love
so
it.
what is there a what's your
I love that
asking, though,
deal. Let's
Andrew?
look for Kamara though, because the number one team is okay at running back, but they're not swimming in it right now.
They're not deep.
I was
They're
gonna
not
say,
deep at all.
Pete, because
They
I
need
saw you were trying to pull up the wide receivers too. Like, if he wanted to say, I want to keep one of these first and I'll throw you Addison, I'm fine taking the young guy in Addison and like having him be
I'd
a
be fine
piece to
with that
build
too.
around. Yep.
I'd be fine with that as well. So Alvin Kamara here. Looking at this team, it's the opposite. They're really strong at receiver. They don't have as much at running back. At
27
this
first.
point, I think I'd be okay just taking the first. Just give me the first and 27 and call that good.
This team's
I
so
don't wanna
good,
get-
it's a second.
Right.
Pretty
like,
much.
I don't want to get too greedy there with Alvin Kamara, because yes, he could be a great asset this year, but he's also one that could just fall off a cliff if this offense is really bad and he's lost a step, and all those things happen. So I don't want to get greedy. Like, just give me the first. We'll call it good. Bing, bang, boom.
I would even, if he starts to like fight it a little bit and he's like, I'm not giving you a first for Kamara. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I would even, me personally, in this situation, I'll give you my 27. I guess we're rebuilding. So I guess I'd say, like, I'll give you my 27 third and
Which is basically
Kamara,
a second.
which is basically a second. And then you can just move back around, and I'll give you Kamara just to move back around in 2027. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yep. You can finesse that. You can massage that real well. So I think those are some legitimate options for those picks that would put you in a pretty good spot. And then of course, if somebody comes knocking for Bowers is the one that I definitely I need. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm okay with market value. Like, I probably need market value and a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what market value is for Bowers right now? It's like market value is an overpay.
Yeah, I mean that's
Because he's worth
what
so
it is
much
for Bowers.
No one's
Honestly,
paying market value for him.
It sounds crazy, and I know a lot of people disagree with me when I say it, but like at Brock Bowers' current market value, like I'm always okay to kind of move off of him at where his market value is right now. It just feels like every offer that goes through for Bowers, it's like, man, that was an overpay. Like, a lot of them make sense unless you're in a tight end premium when you're competing and you don't need to improve anywhere. Like, a lot of the times I feel like it does make sense right now where Brock Bowers is just, you're getting a bag for him.
Yeah.
This team has 3 firsts in this draft with a 103, 111, and 106, and a 27 first.
That's
and
one where
tight end.
They're weak at tight end. Give me those 3 firsts. I'll give you Brock Bowers. With one of them, I'm drafting Tyler Warren as my replacement. And then the other ones, I can add Ted McMillan and whatever. Like, I can add these other pieces around my roster. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I'd be in the same boat. And that's what I'd be looking. I'd be looking for 3 firsts, and I need at least one of them to be a high-end first. At least one.
Because that was what, 103, 106, and 111?
Something
Correct.
like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so like you're pretty much getting that second, and then no, I'm just kidding. You're getting those guys, and I think you're going to be able to fill out a roster pretty well here with a couple of those picks.
Yep, and we'll see. This might be one of those teams that's like, I got Evan Ingram. I don't know that I'm quite willing to overpay for Brock Bowers. All right, like there will be, if Brock Bowers' name's out there, somebody will come calling. I guarantee it. He is not just going to sit that out there and die on the vine. Like, if your league is active at all, somebody's going to send you something.
I'm in a league where it's just a half point extra for the tight end. And Brock Bowers got put on the block within 22 minutes or something like that. It was like 22 minutes from the time he went up on the block to the time the trade was completed. And it was Justin Jefferson in a first for Bowers. And I was like, holy hell. Like, that is an insane amount of value for Brock Bowers. And it's only an extra half point premium.
That's crazy. Pete, I saw you put this up there a second ago. How does Stafford's back issue affect Puka? Could you ask for 3 with the uncertainty there? Bad vibes around LA right now. I understand the uncertainty there. I'm not selling Puka low. If he's an older asset, then yeah, I get that. But right now, like if I have to hold on to Puka, I'll hold on to Puka and I'll sell him when his value is a little bit higher. He's too good of an asset to just take a low ball price on him. And I get the uncertainty. If there's an owner that's like, yeah, I don't want to make that move. All right, that's fine. I'll just hold on to him. But for me personally, I am not going to be. Look, I think it's a downgrade? Absolutely, it's a downgrade. But Jimmy Garoppolo has been a very effective NFL quarterback. He's run similar types of offenses in the past and he's had Deebo Samuel looking just fine, Brandon Ayuk looking just fine, George Kittle looking just fine. So I'm not overly panicked if Matthew Stafford is gone. It's a downgrade, but it's not the end of the world to me.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing that I've kind of been banking on a little bit is we know how well ran this Rams office is. Like Les Snead and Sean McVay, these guys are legitimately some of the best front office in football. And so if something happens with Stafford where he's going to miss time, or, we also know with Puka, like we knew that Stafford wasn't a long-term option anyways. We knew that there was going to be a thing eventually where they're going to have to move on to another quarterback. I trust that this offense is going to figure it out. And I trust that the front office is going to make the moves that they need to make sure they can keep competing. Because quite frankly, Los Angeles is in a contending window in that, NFC West, and they should be able to do it. Even if Stafford gets hurt, they're going to probably be on the phones with, Atlanta trying to get a Kirk Cousins or something like that to bring him into the building.
Yep. Totally.
And
totally with you.
Last note on that too is like if Mac Jones can feed Brian Thomas on a bad Jaguars offense last year, then Puka will have no problems.
It'll be just fine.
Yeah. It definitely hurts like the Devonta Adams of the world. Like that would suck for him because then the efficiencies that he would need, because he already was going to have to be pretty efficient, I think, with some of his touches and some of the touchdowns to be an elite asset for us. If you lose Stafford, I think some of that hurts Adams, but it's not necessarily going to hurt Puka because he's going to be that first read, check down. Let's just get this guy the ball in space. Like that's what they're going to do with Puka.
Matt Miller, not Mac Miller, Matt Miller. With the Cook news, Bijan, Olave, or Jefferson and Cook. And
I've never heard of any of these players before. Who's Bijan or Olave?
None of these guys are big names. I went to answer real quick, and then I kind of caught myself, and I was like, "Oh man, This is actually it's a very close trade for me. What do you think, Andrew?
I want Jefferson and Cook. That's the side that I want. Yeah, I think Bijan and Jefferson are going to be similar valued assets. I trust that Cook is going to outproduce Olave for at least 2 more years. And I know that like it's wide receiver over running back for the most part in process, but when your wide receiver is dealing with concussions most of the time, which I think that is a little bit overblown at this point in time. I just mentioned it to mention it, but also we talked about the Saints offense. It's probably going to be pretty bad. So just give me Jefferson and Cook. I still think James Cook is going to be flirting with RB1 numbers this year. It should be back to business. Shakir's a little bit banged up right now. Kincaid's banged up right now. Like, what are they going to do? It's just going to spread the ball around and give their running back the football. That's probably what they're going to be doing right now.
Yeah, if you want the Bijan Olave side, put a 1 in the chat, 2 in the chat if you think Jefferson and Cook side. Bro, I'm struggling. I am struggling hard with this.
Really?
Because I really am. Because my gut tells me, yeah, you should go the Jefferson and Cook side. Like there's more value on that side. There's, you have 2 players that could finish top 12 at their position versus only 1 guy on the other side. The reason it's still difficult for me is it is so incredibly difficult to get a 3-down workhorse that can put up the numbers at running back that Bijan Robinson can. And that's what makes this so hard, because for me, I actually have Bijan and Jefferson in a startup in a different tier. I don't have them in the same tier. So I think that's why this is hard for me.
Bijan
But I am
higher?
going to what's that?
Bijan higher?
I would take, I've been taking Bijan for a year now. I've been taking Bijan over Justin Jefferson. I took him ahead last year, taking him ahead this year. You get several years younger. And we did a whole study on guys that repeat as ones at their position, and it's just such a finite group of running backs that can do that they can produce 3, 4, 5, 6 RB1 type seasons, and they all fall into a very similar profile from what we get out of Bijan Robinson. And so that's the thing for me. Wide receiver is the deepest it has probably ever been in fantasy football. Running back is still very shallow overall. So that's what makes this tough for me. All that being said, you're going to
say the others. You're going to say the other side now, aren't you?
I'm still taking the Justin Jefferson.
Oh, that lead up for nothing.
Look, I had to play the devil's advocate, okay? And why it was so tough for me. But if the deal had not gotten done with James Cook today, I probably would have taken the Bijan side. With the deal being done and him staying put in Buffalo, that's what does it. Because I don't think James Cook is a special running back, but I think he's in a special situation. And so I think in that case, because you saw what he did last year, he didn't even have a crazy amount of touches, but he just got so many touchdowns in that offense that's what really propelled him. So I am going to take Jefferson and Cook, but it was really tough. It really was tough for me to make that decision.
I didn't think it was that tough, but also it has never wavered for me and James Cook. I made a post today.
Oh, you're a truther.
I said he's my second most drafted running back this offseason. Like it felt like the fade for Cook this offseason was a little bit ridiculous to me, because it was like, what do you think that Buffalo's really not going to pay him? He was most of their offense last year outside of Josh Allen. Like they're probably going to give him some money.
Is
Scribble, sorry about that. One? But I'm just
no, it's not
theatrics.
My number one most drafted running back this year in best ball drafts, like on Underdog, is Isaiah Pacheco. He's my number one most drafted.
That makes sense.
But I was getting him in like the 80s, like for most of the beginning of the offseason. Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice.
I actually, when I look at my Dynasty roster, so I really made a hard shift last year to it was very, very rare for me to not have at least one elite running back on my team. So it's funny, if you look at my most owned players in Dynasty, I'll look at exactly what it is, but it's something like I have 37% of my teams have Bijan Robinson, 33% have Jahmyr Gibbs, and 33% have Devon Achane. Now, some of those, that doesn't mean 100% of the teams I have one of those guys. Some of them I have both. There's a few teams where I don't have either. But I made a really strong stance last year that I need at least one of those young running backs on my team, just because of how valuable they are, and not just in the short term, but in the long term. They can kind of break that 2 to 3 year window that we get out of a lot of running backs.
Yeah, my most rostered Dynasty running back is Gibbs, but I got all of those in rookie drafts a couple years back, and I just have never given up because this has been the best payoff that I've ever received in a Dynasty pick for a while.
Absolutely. I have a lot of Amon-Ra too. He was one of those guys that I got a lot of. So here it is. I can give you the exact now. Okay. So Jahmyr Gibbs, I have in 38% of leagues. I have 27% Jonathan Taylor, 27% Bijan Robinson, and 27% Devon Achane. So I really made a concerted effort. Like I need those running backs. So anyway, let's get on to our next one here.
Just looking at this player shares thing on the GM, I'm going to throw it out there. Quality of life change for the shares. We need to be able to filter this by position. Why can't I filter this by position right now?
That's true. We should be able to. You should
fix that, Garrett.
Yeah, I'm great with technology.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm speaking for the people right now. Like if I want to go in and see my most rostered wide receiver, I shouldn't have to scroll through and pay attention to all of the positions. I should just be able to click wide receiver and the top guys right there on the screen.
Do you guys
I
want to
think,
guess who my most rostered rookie this year is? Does want to guess?
Colin Monungai. Hands down.
It is. It's Monungai.
Okay, mine's Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
There you go. Same
Yeah.
tier of players. Same
But I
tier
didn't
guys.
draft him pretty much anywhere. I just got him off the waiver wire everywhere immediately after the draft.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I took a lot of Monungai in like the 4th round.
Okay.
I took a lot of him, but I loved his tape. I loved him way more than like a 7th rounder. I thought he should have been like a 4th round type player. But he's been getting some love, so
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. All right. Nice. Scribble says his most rostered rookie is Hunter. That's a good one to have. Put in the chat who's your guys' most rostered rookies. So Pete, who do we have here on this nuke?
We have Steven. It's a 1 quarterback, 14 teamer. We are getting so
Ooh, I
many
like
different
those.
kinds of leagues
Yeah. we're
this
mixing it up
episode. I
today.
love it. Start 9. It's moving to Superflex in 2027. So
Moving to
another
Super Bowl 27.
change
Okay.
for this league.
Okay.
There are a couple big dogs in this league, so I'm not sure how aggressive I should be this year. / what your long-term building advice should be.
All right. So this is a PPR league, but we know that it's moving from 1 quarterback to super flex in the near future. So we have to keep that in mind when looking at this team. So here we go. Quarterbacks, we've got Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Justin Fields, Jimmy G. At running back, we've got Ashton Genty, Dylan Sampson, LaQuint Allen, Taj Brooks, Antonio Gibson. At wide receiver, we have Malik Neighbors, Jerry Jeudy, Jamison Williams, Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin. Tight end, we've got Mr. Brock Bowers. I've seen a lot of Brock Bowers today. Aronde Gadsden and Mitchell Evans. Draft pick wise, we do not have our first in 26. However, we somehow have, okay, that team must not have a name. That must be what it is, because I see the little line. So I was like, wait, how do we have 2 of our own?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's team 8.
Okay.
I was
All
right.
either thinking that or like we have a really early second.
Does that mean we have is team 8 an orphan? Does that mean it's an orphan if it doesn't?
I think so. Yeah. Or
Okay, there's
someone
no
you
manager
could just
with it
name.
yet.
You could just not have a name, I guess.
Team
Can
no
you?
name. I don't know. I have no.
I've
idea
never
on that.
tried, but maybe.
I do have one team name because they were being like really funny about like every team has to have a name, but can't just be like
How is that
Team
funny?
Dynasty Price. And
Oh,
so
okay.
literally I just posted, like, I just put in there, this is my team name, and they did not like that, but I left it.
The fantasy football team. That's
Yeah, exactly. Just full of Commanders.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. All right. So this team is currently in 4th in Dynasty mode. Pete, where are we in contender mode?
I'm curious. Where do you guys think it will be?
I'm guessing we're going to be around like 7th, 8th.
Yeah, I was gonna push probably like 8, 9.
Okay.
I'll say 6-5.
Oh,
So we get everything.
6, 7.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that, Andrew. I knew it. All right. Number 6.
You knew I was gonna
Numbers
say
fall.
that?
Dude, I was like, who's going to be the young guy to say that? Oh, it'll be Andrew.
You're so
Nah.
plugged into the youth.
I was just doing it to make fun of Dable because Dable's the one who just did that in the.
Did he
interview.
really?
Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I did not. I missed
No,
that.
they were asking him a question. First of all, nobody even said a number. Dable just said it randomly out of nowhere. But like he's sitting there, there's a pause. Nobody says anything, and he just goes 6, 7, and then everybody was like, "What the heck? Like, what is Brian Dable doing?"
Loki, like 2 or 3 months
Low-key.
ago, I literally spent probably an hour like researching like what is 6, 7 and why are people saying it. Like I was that guy on Google trying to
You're
figure it
really
out.
good with technology, aren't you, Garrett?
I really
An
am.
hour?
I know all the Twitters.
Honestly, I don't even know. I know the meme, but honestly, I don't know what the reason for it is. Is
It
just
ties into like Lonzo Ball's like song, and like it just kind of like
Okay.
it doesn't actually mean anything. Like it's just tied
It's brain
into his
rot.
song. Yeah.
It's brain rot, which is a lot of stuff these days, but hey, it is what
Honestly.
it is. They asked Dable who taught him that, and he said, "My kids," because everybody thought it was Jackson Dart who's teaching him all these phrases because Jackson Dart's so young.
That's so funny. I love it. I love it. All right,
Dynasty
let's get
brain
into
rot.
this team. So we know we're going into Superflex in a couple years. Right now, I wouldn't feel great about my team in a Superflex format, but I feel okay at the quarterback position in a 1 QB league. So this is going to kind of depend on, hey, are we what's our plan? Is our plan to try to push some chips in and win it this year, or is our plan to play for the future? Because if it's to play for the future, we've got some exciting young upside, but I don't feel confident in it yet. But Fields, I think for the most part, could get us where we need to be this year. So I guess that's the first question that we really should be asking. We have a lot of older receivers. We have a stud in Brock Bowers and a stud in Ashton Genty, but we're really thin at running back, and we could use a little bit more maybe at receiver. Are you trying to push it in to win it this year, or are you kind of trying to get ahead of your league and you're trying to maybe get some quarterback assets and stuff? It sounds like our guy's saying he's definitely leaning towards playing for the future. He said no way he's winning it this year. So I guess he answered the question for you. That's the way I was leaning.
That's what I was leaning to. So yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right. So let's look at it through that lens, knowing that we're not going to be winning it this year. Bummer is we do not have our 26 first. So we can't necessarily capitalize on not being good this year. But I love that we have 327 first because I love that class. I think we're going to be in great shape. Pete, can you find our 26 first? Like, and if there's
Already on it.
way we could get
Do you worry a little bit though, Garrett, with this roster? Like, there's enough young studs on it that I think it's going to prevent us from having an early pick. But I don't really want to move those. But are you saying we should move some of these? Because it's like Genty, Neighbors, Bowers. Like we're sitting on a lot of Lamborghinis.
Points.
Yeah,
that's points.
It's the one of the lower teams.
I would be open to moving. I'd be very hesitant to move Malik Neighbors unless I can truly get the farm for him. This is not a tight end premium, so I'm more open to moving Bowers than I would be otherwise. Honestly, I am open to moving Ashton Genty. If I'm on a rebuild team, I'm not necessarily in love with having a ton of running backs. Now, I think he's probably an outlier that's going to be really good for a long time, but there's always that risk. Every once in a while, you have a running back come in, and we all project him to be good, and they just aren't. They just don't fit. I don't project that at all for Ashton Genty. We're continuing to tell people to take him 1-1, but if the right price is there for Bowers or Ashton Genty, I'm open to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think of the three we talked about, if we ordered them in who I would move most likely to least likely, it would be Genty, Bowers, Neighbors.
Agree.
So we're keeping Cam Ward, we're keeping Dart, right? Like we're just gonna let those sit on us for Superflex. Are you moving Fields?
I'd be open to moving Fields in this scenario because I'm not confident he's a part of our future.
I agree. And I think he can fetch you a decent player or pick this year.
I just sold him for a first in a league.
Okay.
It was a league I had like 4 or 5 quarterbacks. Somebody really needed a quarterback. I sold him for a first. So I think that's a realistic, especially in a 14-team league where teams are real thirsty.
It's tough though because it's not a one quarterback yet, or it's not a super flex yet.
That's true.
Right.
I guess I am starting to already think about it in those terms.
But what you could do is you could take it and say you're going to have to find the right person, but you're going to look at people who are weak at quarterback and then say, hey, this guy can help you this year. And then if those guys are weak at quarterback, or maybe they have a good quarterback already, but they don't have a good quarterback 2 on the roster, you're like, hey, we're transitioning to Superflex next year. You want to lock up that quarterback 2 for next year already because you're going to have to plug Justin Fields into your lineup next year.
Is it 26 or 27, Pete?
27.
Oh, 27
years, unfortunately.
That
makes it tougher.
It makes it tougher because then people are going to argue that I don't know if Fields has a 2-year window out of him. Like,
yeah, that's
you might have to settle for a second.
Yeah, would you consider like
Or
maybe trying to
package. He could be part of the
3D move this is like, can you move Fields for a wide receiver and then sell that wide receiver for the first? Like, can you do something like that?
Could try. Let's see what we have out there and available. So, Pete, what teams do we have out here that are going to be looking for? I mean, basically, we've got a player at every position because if we're looking at our receivers, yeah, we don't want to move Malik Neighbors, but Jerry Jeudy, I'd be fine moving. Jameson Williams, I'd be fine moving. Calvin Ridley, I'd be fine moving. Like, there's plenty of receivers on our team that I would have no issue moving to a contender. And with it being 14 teams, all of these guys, all assets get a little bit of a boost in value if they can help somebody win now.
Yeah. Like another option
This
too
guy
is
needs
like,
a tight end big time.
yeah, he does. That's a horrid tight end room. I like
That's not the
Freiermuth,
team that
but
has
it's-
ours, is it?
No.
What's our
No, but he
team?
has a 26 and a 27 first if we wanted to try and get it.
We have 1-800
Wait.
gamblers us. Okay.
I thought that it was in the.
Is that us?
The right team? Is this the right team?
That's Jameson
have you been-
Williams' team.
What?
Over the
That-
head didn't hit. That's all right. It's fine.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's a good one.
No, don't save me now.
There we go. No. See, it's funny too because this is also the team is actually named after Jameson Williams.
Yeah, and I said that's Jameson Williams' team because 1-800 gambler.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
No, it's all right. It's fine. It didn't hit. That's I'll work on it. And I'll come back.
I-
next time.
Did you
I'll
guys
workshop
catch the
it.
joke that I tried
Yeah.
to make?
Which
But
one?
when I was like, "Oh, I don't know who Bijan Olave is," like
Oh,
I was
yeah,
meaning
it's-
it's like a one. Okay, as long as
It's-
you guys knew that it was a joke.
This
it
is
wasn't
a
funny.
channel with Rich
That's what
Dotson. We
matters.
know they don't all hit. Like,
Yeah, it's
it
fine.
happens.
Sometimes they don't, and it's more about how you recover from the fall or the joke not landing than it is actually the joke landing itself. Sometimes you just got to
There you go.
roll with it.
There you go.
Sometimes you just gotta end the stream. Okay, bye guys.
See ya. Too embarrassed to keep going. All right. Let's look here. So team 5 right below us desperately needs a running back. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. It looked worse. Oh, this is can we switch to contender mode?
My bad.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right. So the teams above us are actually not too terrible at running back. The good news about Ashton Genty, though, is he fits any team. It doesn't have to be a contending team.
This guy has 327 firsts. He has a lot of draft capital, and he has James Conner.
We wouldn't
So
really-
so he's kind of viewing himself as a contender.
Either that or he's in a rebuild that's not done yet. Because
think he
that is weird to have Devontae Adams and James Conner and George Kittle,
DJ
but have
Moore.
all of that draft capital.
You think you want to buy Ashton Genty for 3 first, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, especially if 2 of those 3 are in 27, because Connor's dead by then, Devontae Adams is dead by then.
Yeah, Kittle's
Well, he
a
has
little
three
rough.
2027. Yeah.
So he's saying that guy just started his rebuild. So let us know. Do you think this guy is still
Started
trying
it
to
last
push it off
year.
for one more year or not?
Who did he trade away to get all
was
those
gonna
draft
say,
picks?
How did you
Did he
start it
just have a
last
great
year and you
team?
still have Adams and Connor and Kittle? Like those would have been the guys you should have sold last year when you started this thing.
Kittle.
Right. So that is kind of a weird way to go about it. He's got a lot of
'Cause
quarterbacks
this
too.
team has like the framework of being a good roster.
They do.
This is what I've mentioned before on this show when we've done some of these roster reviews where I say I never want people to sit on the fence. This guy's a fence sitter right now.
Yeah. Why is he hurting his own draft pick by having these assets?
And if he started it last year, those 2025 draft picks that he got probably should have been a lot better, but he's been sitting on Kittle and Adams and those guys.
Quick question: with this team, you don't want to like be trading for for
He's a weird
assets,
guy.
right?
He's a weird guy.
You don't want to be like trading for. You don't want to try to compete, right? With that, like if you know that team's trading away his players and he's a weird guy,
You just kick him out of the league. That's what you do. No, I'm just
Bro,
kidding.
I'm not trying to deal with him. All right,
Okay.
let's find another team. To
He just
potentially
has
work
so
with.
many draft picks. That's the hard thing.
Oh, here we
It's
go.
like-
So this team does have our first. That makes it a little bit interesting to me.
Does he want Genty?
I mean, I wouldn't see why. Like, who realistically, who doesn't? You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't want an Ashton Genty on there?
Could you take our 26 first back, our 27 or his 27 first, and Xavier Worthy and make that the deal, or is that still too light?
I think that's still too light for me personally. But then again,
That's
I'm
like
not a
me on
huge
my
Xavier
wedding
Worthy
day.
guy, so that could be part of it.
Throw in Tyler Warren too. Warren, Worthy, and the 2 firsts.
I would do that. I would do that. And knowing that the 1 is my own, and that's going to make it a high pick. I would be willing to do that.
I don't like breaking down typically into 4 assets, but I think that's good enough. Warren's kind of a first round pick value. Worthy's probably a first round pick value.
late first.
It's kind of like getting four late-ish firsts, and then the 1 that you get to control as your own, where we're either early or mid at the latest.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I would be open to that possibility. This is also a team where if they want to upgrade to Brock Bowers, they have a Tyler Warren. We could do a Tyler Warren, 2 first-round picks for Brock Bowers as well. So I would have, and honestly, I'd probably still ask for Xavier Worthy because I see those as very similar assets value-wise. So I would probably be asking the exact same for both of those players. All right.
Yeah.
In the chat, 1's if you would be willing to make that trade for Ashton Genty. 2, if you would be willing to make that trade and give up Brock Bowers. 3, if you're like, I don't feel comfortable doing either one of those deals. Because like I'm on the fence with both of those. Like I like those deals, but I don't love those deals. But I do like getting my own first back in this type of situation.
Now, Garrett, while we're waiting for some of those numbers to come in the chat to let them know how they feel, aren't we
Mhm.
doing a little bit of a discount on memberships, 30% off or something like that? Aren't we?
That's true. That's true. Right now, if you want this tool and you want everything that we're offering at Dynasty Nerds right now, we're going to give it to you for 30% off. If you use promo code, what is it? See, now I don't even remember.
Nerds 30.
Nerds 30. That's what it is. I kept wanting to say kickoff 30, but Rich was like, kickoff's way too long of a word. We're not doing that. I was like, okay. So Nerds 30 is the promo code. Nerds 30. If you want to get all of our good stuff. Apparently, no one wants to let us know what they think, though. Maybe everyone's just on the fence like us. Because I don't
be on the
love that
fence.
trade, but I like it.
Get off the fence. I hate fence
Get off
sitters,
the
man.
fence. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's
Ooh.
keep moving then. Let's keep. What other deals would you want to do?
Bird says 3.
And he's the one that matters. He's
Yeah,
like,
he
bro,
says
I don't
3.
know that I would be willing to do it for either one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some other moves here. We also have at the. Can you go back to our team, Pete?
Yep.
So we also have a wide receiver. We have scroll down a little bit, Pete. Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton, Jamison Williams. If I do not think I am winning it this year, I honestly want all of these receivers off my roster. I really do not want any one of these. And in a 14-team league, you're going to still get some pretty good offers for these guys. And I would love to pair 2 of them together and get myself some firsts.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of what I was going to get into. I was going to say, if we're sitting here, people are indifferent. We don't know if we really want to get rid of the Lamborghinis we have. Is it out of the range of outcomes to keep our Lamborghinis and let's just sell everything else?
Yeah.
Like, is that crazy?
Which no, it's not crazy at all. I have zero issue with that at all. So if we're doing that, then can I trade Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton and get a first? Can I trade Calvin Ridley and Jamison Williams together and get a first?
You
I
should
think those are
absolutely be
very
able to get a
realistic.
first
What's that?
I think you should absolutely be able to get a first in a 14-team league for those guys. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you might even be able to sneak on a tiny bit more on top. And if you can, like, power to you. But look, it is tough to have enough starting assets. And this guy knows it. It's tough to have enough starting assets in a 14-team league to field a good team all the way through. It's really difficult. So I would absolutely be selling. I'd be trying to get a first for any combination of 2 of those 4 guys. If you were to upgrade at receiver, I'd be okay doing that since we don't have our 26 first. If you were to just do it for a receiver, then who would you be going after? Like, do you think you could do Jerry Jeudy and Calvin Ridley, or James? Let's say Jerry Jeudy and Jameson Williams. Do you think you could get Rome Odunze?
Maybe. It's going to depend on that manager. Honestly, the ones that I would like to pair together would be Jeudy and Ridley together, and I just keep J-Mo as my wide receiver 3. That's probably what I would like to do.
Okay.
But what can that get you? Like, I feel like the market is much lower on Ridley and Jeudy than they are J-Mo. I think the market's higher on J-Mo.
Yeah, and that very well could be true simply because of the age.
Yeah, so if we want to swing for like a bigger upgrade, we have to throw J-Mo in with one of those guys.
Yeah. And J-Mo and Jeudy would probably get you pretty close.
I'll throw out a couple names here. You think it could get you to...
He's saying he's a Garrett Wilson guy. I don't think that's going to get you Garrett Wilson. I don't think any
I was going to say, he was going to be the name I just brought up. Was it J-Mo and Jeudy? Could that get you Garrett Wilson?
I think he can get you Rome. I don't think he can get you Garrett Wilson. Maybe you could give all 3. You had Cortland Sutton as well, and maybe it could.
I don't know if I want to send 3 assets for Garrett Wilson, though, because it feels like we're kind of moving in the wrong direction. Because didn't we said we wanted to play for the future, right? Like,
I would rather trade him for picks personally.
Yeah, because I feel like if we're going to consolidate and upgrade at the wide receiver position, it feels like we're pushing more points onto the roster, and now we're trying to push towards a contending 2026, which isn't kind of the direction that I want to go, because then we fall into the same spot where it's like we don't feel like we're strong enough to win a championship this year, so why are we adding upgraded wide receiver points onto the roster?
Yeah.
And thinning out the roster.
That team, and I would attempt to get my first. I would attempt to get my first back. I'd offer him any 2 of those receivers that you choose. You can have them, and I want my first back. That would be my very first move that I'm trying to make.
Can J-Mo and Jeudy get you
weird wide receiver room?
That is a weird room.
Can J-Mo and Jeudy get you T-Mac?
Could try,
because that would consolidate, and it would still play for the future with T-Mac.
Yeah, depends on what team has T-Mac. I think. If it's more of a contender, I think it could happen. If it's more of a rebuild, I don't think you're going to get it done.
Would you do Jeudy and J-Mo for Egbuka, or is that not a good enough upgrade?
Jeudy.
Oh, this guy has every rookie wide receiver. He has T-Mac, Hunter, and Egbuka. So it would have to be with
he's
this
trying
guy.
to contend then. I would shoot for that then. I would shoot for... I think I would take any of those 3 in a rebuild, especially if Ridley can be one of those guys. Like if I can do Emeka Egbuka for Ridley and his choice of Jeudy or J-Mo, I think that would be a great trade that I would love to make, because I do think people are high on Ridley this year with Cam Ward.
It's mixed. I think you either are hot or cold on him. There's no in between.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So I think Emeka Egbuka you might be able to get with Ridley in your choice of those 2. I think you're going to have to give Jeudy and J-Mo to even have a shot at Hunter or McMillan. He's not moving those guys. Okay. Yeah, it makes it tough. It makes it tough if he's not. I think your best bet is to just go for picks then, my guy.
I was going to say all signs are pointing. I know I kind of am getting the vibe that that's not really what you want to do, Bird. I'm just going to call you Bird or Nightcore. I don't know what I should call you. What's his name, Pete?
I am a bird now.
Okay, I am a bird
No,
now. Bird.
Steven.
I get the vibe that you don't want to kind of get the draft picks and kind of throw the year. I kind of am getting that vibe from some of the stuff in the chat, but it feels like all signs are pointing towards that being one, the move that
The
is
best option.
actually going to be able to be done in this league. Because it sounds like you've tried to do some of the other stuff. You've tried to go for Ted McMillan. You've tried to get the upgrade. You've tried to do some of the other things, and they're not working because the league isn't moving that way. So sometimes when the league is moving one specific direction and you're trying to figure this out, the best thing to do is zig while everybody else zags. And so I think right now you got to go kind of in the other direction. And it doesn't sound fun. I get it. Nobody wants to pay the buy-in and lose, this year, but it's to help you win long term. And I think being able to get some of those draft picks and some of those other things does help you.
Yeah. He said he's been losing for so long. I want to be competitive, but I think you're probably right. Look, if you wanted to go all in, you can. I wouldn't recommend it, but in a 1 QB league, you have the horses to do it. And that's why at the very beginning of the show, you said that you thought you were in a little bit more of a rebuild. But that's why we even kind of posed that question, because with 327 first, you do have the horses to be able to try to go all in and to try to win this year. Malik Neighbors, Ashton Genty, and Brock Bowers are going to be able to keep you in this. And Justin Fields is going to be a good enough quarterback in a 1 QB league to get it done. So if you wanted to go out and you wanted to try to go get, Derrick Henry with one of those first, you wanted to try to go get, use the other 2 first and get Devon Achane or somebody like that's in the realm of possibility. But just know that you could win it this year, but you're going to be right back in the same spot in probably 3 years.
That
the
was
hard
going to
thing
be
is this team's really good.
Yeah, that was going to be my advice too, because when people ask me for my advice on rebuilding, one of my biggest things that I say is pick a return date. Basically, like you go out on vacation, you're telling your boss and your work when you're coming back, right? Pick a return date on when you think you're going to be competitive and stick to it. Don't cut that short. You don't want to cut your vacation short. Take the time to rebuild, refresh, get everything right. And then when it's time to come back, come back. So for you, I wouldn't recommend cutting it short. I know it's not fun to lose. I know nobody wants to do that. Don't cut yourself short, because in the end, when you do take that shortcut to contention, your competitive window is now smaller. You're going to be competitive for a year or 2, or maybe even 3 years if you're lucky. But the reality is, if you hold out one more year, you have all of that draft capital in 2027, where you can start adding some more horses to the stable, some more Lamborghinis to the garage, so we've said. And when you do that, now you're looking at in 2027, that offseason that you add those players, we're looking at Genty in his prime, Neighbors in his prime, Bowers in his prime, an added Jeremiah Smith, maybe an added, a couple extra players where we really have this huge stable of assets. And then you're going to look at it and say, dude, I'm set to contend for the next 5 years. I'm set to contend for the next 7 years if everything goes right. So just don't cut yourself short because you want to win now or you're sick of losing, because you are going to shorten that contending window long term.
Poor Scribbles. His company banned PTO.
Well, it sounds like you need a new job, Scribbles.
Vacations for the week. Love it. All right.
It's not work if you love what you do.
There you go. That's why we never give Pete vacation.
That's true.
Well,
just kidding. All right. On
This
to
is
the
my
next
vacation.
one.
It just happens to be my job too. Let me set it up.
What do you think about this, Garrett? It says you're just adding lottery tickets that may not hit. My thought is, just because you have the draft picks doesn't mean you have to make the selections. It's just insulated value that's going to keep adding onto your roster. Those picks are going to be worth a gold mine in 2027.
They're currency. They're the easiest currency in your dynasty leagues as picks, because the second you put a name on your roster, there's going to be some people that like that name, but there's going to be just as many people that don't like that name and don't value them the same way that you do. Everyone likes picks to some extent. Everyone is going to be interested because it's not tied to a specific player. It's tied to what could be. And so those almost always appreciate in value. They're like a good stock. They almost always appreciate in value, and they can be any player at this point. So I think that's why we're not necessarily saying you have to make all the picks. And especially when I'm middle of the road, but trending in the right direction or a contender, I'm with you. I'm getting rid of all my picks because I want known commodities. But you also have to understand too, that when you're in a spot that you're in a rebuild, you're trying to take as many bites out of the apple as you can, because yes, trying to get a Neighbors is awesome, but now you have to pay 3 firsts to get that versus 1 first to potentially get him in the draft. So that's the cheapest you're ever going to get them, but it is also it's also a risky spot as well. So you kind of have to play both sides of that as you're rebuilding.
Yep. And it all works hand in hand. It's kind of like Jonathan says here. Picks don't score points. They don't get hurt. They work together. If I'm not scoring points, the picks are better. If the picks are better, they're worth more. And if they're worth more, I can get better players in the long run. Like that, they all kind of work hand in hand. So it's more of a process than it is actually saying like, take all of these draft picks, put them on your roster so you can draft 10 rookies. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying keep that as ammunition in your back pocket while your team rebuilds, and then use the ammo how you see fit.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, this is Ashay's league. It's a 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 9, no tight end premium. There is 1 juggernaut team in the league. I've made some moves last year to compete and did not win. Wondering where I go from here. First thing, really fast, I checked this out. Manungai is on the waiver wire. Pick him up.
Ooh, done and done. Yeah, I mean, we have Kareem Hunt on our roster. Yep. Let's make a change here. All right, quarterback wise, we're looking at Pat Mahomes, Matt Stafford at quarterback. Running backs, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, Brian Robinson. Wide receivers, we've got A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin, Jaden Reed, Michael Pittman Jr., Jack Besh, Adonai Mitchell. Tight end wise, we're looking at George Kittle, Dalton Kincaid, Cade Otton, Pat Fryermuth, Eric All. You could also cut Eric All for comment on guy as well. Draft picks wise, though, we are like we said, we're all in. We don't have any first in both this year and next year. So we're in 8th in dynasty mode, but where are we at in contender mode, Pete? Hopefully several spots higher.
I do enjoy asking this just for like an unbiased view from you guys. Like where do you think it's going to be?
I would assume we're in 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, assets like Mahomes, Achane, Jacobs, AJ Brown, it should be up. I'm going to say 4.
Okay. 3rd.
Nice, Garrett.
It was close. It was
a super juggernaut looking team, at least from the graphic.
No, it's definitely within shouting distance.
Yeah.
So there are some teams that I feel more like quickly right away. I'm like, okay, here's what I do. Boom, 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 boom. Here's all the moves. This one I'm having a little bit of a harder time with because we've already cashed in a lot of our chips with our draft assets.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more along the lines of sometimes you make a bed and you got to lie in it. And I think that's kind of where we're at because a lot of the assets that you would go after are already on this team. A Josh Jacobs is an asset you would go after on a contending team. And A.J. Brown, a Terry McLaurin, like those are assets that you would go after on a contending team. We already kind of preemptively made a lot of those moves. So I'm not necessarily looking to get rid of them unless I want to go into a rebuild, which I don't think I want to do. We're very close. And like we mentioned in the beginning, playoffs can be wonky. Like it's a lot more luck than skill once you hit playoff time. So I don't want to necessarily give a cop out here, but this is kind of just the team you would want to build and hope for the best in the future. But Andrew, is there still some moves we can make or what do you think about this team?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. We don't have a lot of the luxury pieces that we would typically use to push chips in further. It does feel like we've kind of already done that. So the only thing that I would be looking at is like there's guys that may have name value on this team or things like that, like a Kincaid, right? We don't need Kincaid on the roster with Kittle. We can, if we need a bye week fill in, I'm fine plugging in Otton for 1 week. Like it is what it is. So I'm okay to explore adding Kittle to a player on my team and trying to upgrade somewhere. Maybe that's
the
putting
Jack Meshes, the Pat Bryants that aren't going to play for us this year anyway, could be interesting pieces to help us win.
Right. And like, I think the only other thing that I would say is like, okay, we've kind of pushed the chips in. The only other way we can move it a little bit further in the contending side is make a 1 or 2 consolidation moves where I can take B-Rob and Pacheco and push them together, or maybe it's B-Rob and Kincaid and push them together and try and get a little bit of an upgrade in that one spot. So I just get a little bit of a higher ceiling each week.
Yeah, and
So
we
like
do
a
still
Kamara
have
type thing, or
a Kamara. I mean, I would try and see like who a good guy would be Henry. Who has Henry? Like his values. We just know for contenders, his value is too low in the dynasty space that he's going to outproduce it. So he would be a guy I look at. This team,
this guy's contending.
Yeah, he's probably not really looking to move him. What did that Chris McCaffrey team have? Taylor Brees.
He needs.
Could he be intrigued by Kincaid plus B-Rob plus? Do we have one more thing like a wide receiver that we can throw him to? Because his wide receivers were kind of weak.
For CMC, I don't think that's going to be enough unless
it feels
we're
tough.
Big.
Like, does Reed get it done? Like, if you're like Reed, B-Rob, and Kincaid, can that get you to CMC?
It's hard because it's a start 9 too, so it's not like a super deep.
It's shallow.
I doubt it, unfortunately.
Okay, so we can keep looking at some of these other teams. Like, what teams need?
Where are these bottom teams at?
I like Ridley on this team. You could send him like even like a bet.
I mean, I'm totally fine getting Ridley for a cheap whatever. I would like to. He feels similar to like our Terry McLaurin already and things like that.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to try to upgrade if I could. Kamara's one of the toughest ones for me right now because he could easily repeat what he's done almost every year, where he's a running back 1, he's going to finish as running back 7 and just be a really solid asset. But he could totally blow up in our face as well. But I'm open to it because we have, like, this is the bed we made. We've got to give ourselves the best chance we can. So if it's a Kincaid and you might not even have to give a crazy amount on top of Kincaid. A Kincaid and I'm trying to think what's on our team, a Jaden Reed. Like, that would probably get the deal done.
To get Kamara?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that either. I would much rather have Reed and
Oh, really?
It's not a. He has Hawkinson. It's a non-tight end premium.
I would rather have Reed though over Kamara straight up. Like if it was just 1 for 1 trade.
Oh, really? So you're a big Reed guy then?
I like Reed a lot, but
okay.
I'm a little bit more bearish on Kamara right now than you are.
Yeah.
But I personally
9 tight ends.
What about Chase Brown? He was another one that's on kind of like a
much more bullish
Was he?
on Brown.
He was like 7 or 8. There he is.
He has Henderson and Harvey, so maybe he feels like he can kind of move Brown and still survive, especially if you're giving him another running back.
I'd go after him.
Like the Pacheco.
This is where you give him like B-Rob and Reed. And can you do B-Rob, Reed, and Kincaid and get to Brown?
You can try. He's got Brock Bowers, so he might not be as interested, and Tucker
and Kraft.
So he probably doesn't really want. What do we have at quarterback?
It's Mahomes and Stafford.
Oh yeah, we got nothing to give up there.
There goes my back.
Man.
I want to consolidate. Maybe the consolidation is not at the running back position. What if we start looking at the wide receiver position?
Especially with Terry McLaurin potentially being out to start the year.
Yeah, because like I'm fine playing
Ooh,
B-Rob
I'd
and
like
checking
Rasheed
in my
Rice,
flex every
although
week.
he doesn't help us right away either. DK Metcalf? What about DK Metcalf?
I like DJ Moore there too as a potential value.
Are
Metcalf's
you
interesting.
like starting Metcalf over like a McLaurin again, or is that just kind of the same thing?
You
I
at
think
least
he has
get
a-
years out of Metcalf that you wouldn't be getting out of McLaurin. So that aspect
makes
is
sense.
nice. And right now, especially with him not being in the beginning of the season potentially, that would be somebody to kind of help fill that in.
Mm.
But I hear you. I don't know that he's a huge upgrade long term. But the problem is we just don't have the pieces to get a huge upgrade. Like I just don't know what we're going to give to get a big upgrade. So that's why I'm kind of honestly, I'm back at Kamara for me. Like I think it's risky. Yes, it's 100% risky, but there's not another player that has the ceiling that he has that you're going to be able to afford.
It's kind of interesting, Garrett, because you kind of said it was a team. This team is a team that's like already kind of finished what it's trying to do. I feel like that's the whole league. Like, other
Yeah.
than Kamara, the bottom tier is very low on running backs and like win now players. And so like if you're trying to upgrade your team, you're ending up dealing with the big boys, and that's going to be hard trade partners. So
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not even against Mike Evans on that team either. With Chris Godwin's injury. So is there a deal to be done where we have a second in one of these next 2 years and we have a third in one of these next 2 years? I don't remember which one it is. Second and 27, third and 26. Because I'm not wanting to touch 28 because you're going to more than likely be rebuilding by 2028. So I'm not wanting to touch that. Can I use my 27 second and my 26 third? Pair that with B-Rob and Dalton Kincaid and get myself Mike Evans and Alvin Kamara. Like something like that.
Try and just buy two older guys. Yeah, because I was just curious because in a contending window, I'm like, all right, let me put my contending brain on, and I'm trying to sit here and look at my redraft rankings that I have for this year, and I'm like, the only guys that I would have above Kamara this year would be like the James Cooks, the Kyron Williams, the Josh Jacobs, and it's like we can't really trade into that.
We can't afford
so it is Kamara. I just am really, I mean, like you said, Garrett, it's one of those guys that it's like we can make this move and Kamara can blow up in our face this year, and then we're just like, dang, like we tried to push the chips in further and we gambled too much on the house and now we lost.
The good news is though, if it blows up in our face, what did we really lose? Brian Robinson, that could also blow up in our face. Draft picks that are very low hit rates anyway. I guess Kincaid would be the one piece that would really blow up if he actually does become a top 6 tight end. But the odds of that feel very low to me.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as, and maybe this is me just defending, I guess, Jaden Reed here. I don't want to throw Jaden Reed in a Kamara trade. That's what I don't want to do.
Okay. All right, then what other receiver do we have to throw in?
He definitely has like the upside. I like that week 1 30-something point game that he had last year. Like he has that high end upside. Even like a Pat Bryant plus something or Jack Besh.
Yeah, we talked about Pat Bryant and Jack Besh as like throw-ins. Throw those guys in. A rebuilding team would love those names.
Yeah, I'm way more. I mean, if there's similar-ish value and contending value right there, like I'd be much more willing to throw in Pittman, and it's just Pittman and B-Rob or whatever to get to Kamara.
Are you interested in Mike Evans as well or no?
Yeah, I'd be interested in Mike Evans to keep contending. I think he's a interesting piece. He's another guy that I think we need to kind of start looking at Mike Evans in 1-year windows, but I project 2025 to be very good for Mike Evans.
So some combination, there's a deal out there to be made. Figure out if you can get both Kamara and Mike Evans, awesome. If you can only get one, that's still fine. But we're looking to try to get both of those guys. Some combination of our second and third and 26 and 27. Guys like Jack Besh, Pat Bryant, and then B-Rob and Kincaid. Like those are the assets that we have available to move. Structure that however you will to get those two pieces, because I think that's what helps you actually have a shot to win it this year without really mortgaging anything in your future.
How do you feel about the because we talked Pacheco and B Rob. How do you feel about
Mhm.
those two guys head to head? Like, is there one guy that you rather have than the other? Or are they
Maybe
interchangeable?
Pacheco by a hair, but it's not drastically different for me.
Yeah, I prefer Pacheco, but I think if your trade partner has a strong conviction one way or the other, like I'll let them have that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Pete, does that wrap up? Or have we finally made it through all of them?
wrapped up. Yep.
Nice. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Love getting to talk all these teams. We are getting so close to these things actually mattering, to where points are actually put inside of your sleeper app, and we get to finally decide what teams are winning it all this year. Andrew, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, if you want to go show my channel some love at the League FFB on YouTube, you can show it some love over there. Got lots of Dynasty content there, trade shows, redraft content, anything you need fantasy football, we got you.
Absolutely. Pete, anything from you before we're out of here?
Nope. Live, laugh, love.
We'll see you guys on Monday.